You might look a little desperate at first glance, and in fact, I got the world by the tail, baby. I've been in Williston, North Dakota, for about 5 hours. I had to find a place to stay, which in this case would be, well, I found a dumpster in the back of a mattress warehouse. All the way down Main Street, 2nd Avenue. I'm not kidding, I saw half a dozen, maybe 8 billboards, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. I'm gonna take pictures of them tomorrow. Get everybody out here. There's jobs and everywhere. $19 an hour to start. Not too shabby, Gregg Zart.
Gregg Zart is one of the thousands of Americans streaming into Williston, North Dakota looking for work and finding it's a struggle just to survive. An oil rush has tripled the population, and this town is bursting at the seams. There's a lot of money to be made in this boomtown if you can actually find a place to live. I'm Ty Pennington, and this is American Journey.
And in northwest North Dakota, oil is the new gold.
Boomtown, USA.
At the heart of this boom is Williston, North Dakota.
Unemployment is virtually zero. A job
They've discovered about 4 billion barrels of oil under the streets of Williston, North Dakota. And that means a lot of jobs. This area is like a modern-day gold rush with tens of thousands of people flocking here for a shot at the American dream. My name is Gregg Zart. I was a graphic artist in Washington State until I got laid off.
I moved here mainly for a lot of the same reasons that most of the people moved here. Is sort of a move of desperation. I saw some news and some press about what was going on here in Williston.
They say Williston's oil boom could last 20 years. So like everyone else, I want in on that. I mean, the unemployment rate here is like under 1%. There has to be a place for me here. I just need a job.
And it's an amazing process, actually, the way that they use this, a hydraulic fracking process. And I guess the oil has always been here. It's just the technology to get it out of the ground hasn't always been here. So now it is. Oh, look, there's a worker. Hi, worker.
I know this is going to be a turning point in my life, so I'm YouTubing my journey for my family and friends back home to see.
So I get into town. I take Amtrak. I cross country in Amtrak. You know, the very first order of business here when you arrive in town is you got to get a place to stay. Oh my God. I have called every hotel in town and nobody has a vacancy. So I take my luggage with me and I trudge on down the road, and I went about 3 miles down the road. It was cold, it was dark, I didn't know anybody in town, I didn't have anywhere else to stay. So I made my way down the street, really started thinking survivalist. I saw a sign for a budget mattress or some mattress world. If they've got mattresses in the back, I'm just going to crawl in the middle of some of these things, and at least it'll kind of keep me from freezing to death. So I made my way around the building, and sure enough, it was just like the most beautiful sight in the world. I see this industrial-sized dumpster with just sprouting with mattresses. I got in there, rearranged things, shot a little video, of course, to kind of document my situation, because it was kind of funny. It was kind of scary, but kind of funny all at the same time. All right, hey, how's it going? Well, some of you might look around and be like, Craig, dude, that sucks, man. I look at this thing like an urban treehouse, minus the tree, of course. It didn't scare me off. It actually sort of strengthened my resolve. If you can survive a night in that cold dumpster, you can do anything, Greg. So, I saw enough in my time here, my 3 days on the streets, I saw enough to convince me that it's time to go back to Seattle, get back to Olympia, Washington, get my stuff, pack my van up, make it livable, because now there's no housing in town, and go get a job and start this thing and do it. Here we are, Main Street, Williston, North Dakota. I made it! Yeah! Wow, I'm here. I've got all my stuff with me. Now, I've got to find a place to park my vehicle where I can camp out. I'm going to have to start looking for a job. There's still lots of for hire signs, and I'm pretty excited about the possibilities. I'm thinking, I'm going to get me a job. This is going to be just like I planned. You never really know. That's why I'm all masked up in right now, because otherwise my nose would be frozen and would have fallen off. You know, if you had told me 10 years ago, Greg, you're going to be living in a vehicle in Williston, North Dakota, I would think, oh my God, how far the mighty have fallen. But in fact, it seems like an opportunity. Even though I'm living in a vehicle, I've got job opportunities. There's people living in vehicles that are making $4,000 and $5,000 a month. The issue with housing in Williston is that there's a lot of people coming to town to try to take advantage of this oil money, and the infrastructure has not been developed here to support the population. There's just not enough places to live. And the few apartments that do exist can cost $3,000 for a one-bedroom. That's why I'm living in a van. But I'm not alone. People are camping all over town. Keep in mind, there's a ban on camping in this town, so you don't want them to realize that you're inside here. Hence the ninja style black. After about 3.5 weeks, I started to have some doubts about my ability to continue living in a vehicle for that long, because it sucks. Let's be honest. You know, I was going to the bathrooms of local bars to shave in their sinks and stuff. I mean, it was weird. And I discovered a guest bathroom here that's lockable key. You sort of start to question, the hell am I doing here? You know, is this for real? Am I going to continue to be able to live like this? I definitely never felt like I was a real person living in that vehicle. I felt like a transient, sort of ephemeral being, and I knew that I needed to get out of that vehicle and into something more permanent, or I didn't know if I really was going to be able to make it out here.
Where in America can you make a six-figure income but still be forced to live without running water or power? Well, try the oil boomtown of Williston, North Dakota, where jobs are plenty, but housing is scarce. We met a man who's determined to stick it out, or die trying.
I'm Gregg Zart. I came to the boomtown of Williston, North Dakota in search of a better life. Finding a job should be easy. Finding a place to live, not so much. This is hard. This is pioneer living. This is a bunch of kind of desperate people that are out here in real harsh conditions and just trying to make it work. We've got Utah in the house. We've got Oregon represented. No one here is from here. Everyone's from somewhere else, and they're all chasing that oil money. You know, it's funny because in other cities, the city I came from, you know, in Seattle, if someone was camping in their van, you know, you'd really be looked down on, and they'd think that you were just like some homeless loser. And everyone out here is forced into situations like that, and we're not a bunch of homeless losers. Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm Gregg Zart.
Nice to meet you.
Just curious about your situation and how you doing? You doing all right out here or what?
I've actually been out here since June.
Wow.
I've had some friends I've been staying with here and there off and on, but you know how the housing thing is and how much they want to charge you.
Yep.
And you know
I
what?
see you got your housing right here.
You know how cruel they are with the camper people nowadays.
Yeah, the fines. Right.
Yeah.
How do you get around that?
I collect parking tickets.
I felt for that guy because I know exactly, you know, where he's at. I've been there. And if you have that spark inside you and that drive inside you, which you kind of have to have if you're willing to go camp out in your vehicle in sub-freezing temperatures just to try to get a job, then there's something about you as a person that means you're driven and you've got that spark. Are you working now or are you still looking?
Oh, I've been working steady.
Oh, good.
See,
Good.
That's the funny thing about North Dakota. They say it's a place where you can make six figures and still be homeless.
Right. You know,
It's survival, man.
It's survival.
But you know what? The folks that are coming up here and willing to stick it out, we're the ones that are working on a dream.
Exactly.
That's why we're here.
Shortly after arriving here, I finally got a nibble from an oil company, and I'm thinking, this could be my big break. I'm going for it, man. He said it's going to be a couple weeks probably before they do something, but man, you got to throw your hat in as many rings as possible to try to get a job out here. And again, ask anybody. Someone standing next to you in line. Hey, you guys hiring?
Man, I got sidetracked by the driving record, and that disqualified me from this great oil job.
They did a background check, and a car accident from years ago came back to haunt me. So now I'm back to the drawing board. It was a little intimidating, I'll tell you, the first couple weeks here, just because I didn't seem to have, my bearings. I didn't have a permanent place to stay. Didn't have a job locked down yet, and all of those didn't sort of added up to, wow, am I going to make it? Is this going to be all right? Am I going to do it?
Here I traveled all the way across the country to get this oil job, this oil money, and then I stumbled across this retail super giant that offered me a position basically paying me oil money. I am a manager for a Walmart supercenter, not just any Walmart, but one of the highest grossing Walmarts in America. I went from making $10 an hour to over $50,000 a year, and just instantly like that, so pretty cool. I am saving up money like a squirrel saves nuts. Believe me, I'm stashing my cash in the bank account.
I think so. Yeah, I think she works today. Okay, now I've got this great job, but let's face it, I'm still homeless. Apartments are a fortune in Boomtown, if you can even find one. So, what's the next best thing?
I heard about an RV being offered for sale, and that was some welcome news, especially because it sounded like it was going to be in my price range, and I was really ready for a change.
For the new trailer. Well, as you can see, this is actually my place right here behind me. There's my famous van, and this is my new home, the neighborhood. Check it out.
So, sure enough, I get the place, and all of a sudden, I feel a little better about things. Now I've got a base of operations. I'm not, hiding in parking lots.
There's lots of people here, and the weather's nice. It should be a good band day.
It's not like there's nothing to do in this town. That's a misperception, and there are adventures to be had, believe it or not.
Wow, this is exciting. Whoa, are we flipping upside down? I remember these guys from Lord of the Rings, the Ents. Is that them? Is that an Ent? Here in North Dakota, and it's already just awesome. All right, so you say you wanna move to the Bakken and maybe Williston or something and make some oil money? Well, good thinking. But if you're coming here in an RV in the winter, you need to be aware that it gets cold, and I mean really, really cold. Right now, as you can see, it is minus 11 degrees. It's really cold. Is it weird? I look like a ventriloquist. I'm talking without my lips moving. What's up? We were having some power issues earlier, had a new resident move in, and so that little extra load is popping the breaker and popping the breakers.
All power's back on.
I hear that. That's good news. Well, I don't need this because my power's dead. All that good old Arnie working on the fuse. Love losing power all the time. It's awesome. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell or not, but that's steam from my breath inside my trailer, because last night all the power in my trailer died, and it's not a breaker and it's not a fuse. It's evidently some wiring in my trailer. So now I'm in a North Dakota winter with no electricity. It got to the point to where, I went a few days where the power was out all night, and I'd wake up in the morning in a 20-degree trailer, and my cat's looking at me like he's pissed. Man, things are getting a little desperate around here, and this, I guess, is what you have better be prepared for. I, unfortunately, didn't buy my RV. I thought I was prepared, and now my RV's died. And not only does it affect me, it affects my poor cat. I just noticed
Didn't look like he was drinking very well here, and I went and checked his water bowl out, and lo and behold, it's frozen. It's like really, really frozen. Sorry, Art. Hey, you'll get a drink here eventually, bud. Man, I don't know. This might be the final straw. I don't think I can do this place without a place to live, or at least heat or electricity. One day out of the blue, I hear someone say something like, Gregg Zart. I turn around and see a kind of a cute girl hanging out.
Gregg Zart spent his first night in Williston, North Dakota in a dumpster. From living in his van to an RV with no heat, it's been a tough journey. But Gregg's never given up on his dream, which is to find a new life and a place to call home.
You know, although I mentioned there's not a lot of girls in this town, when you're a budding up-and-coming YouTube celebrity like myself, it doesn't hurt. And lo and behold, one day out of the blue, I hear someone say something like, Gregg Zart. I turn around and see a kind of a cute girl hanging out, looking at me like she knows me. I've never seen her before in my life. And enter Sarah Stack of Grip. It's insane. She seemed like a fun person, and she is a fun person. Love Sarah. She's a good friend of mine now. About that time, I told Sarah, you know, hey, look, here's what's going on. I might have to leave town just because I can't do this trailer life anymore. Look, there's my van. She made a couple calls, and within 24 hours, I find out. She calls me back and says, I got a place for you. And I'll tell you what, I felt like I won the lottery. I have arrived. Home, sweet home, baby. From an RV to an apartment is like I just moved to the Taj Mahal. Awesome. All right, I got the apartment. So now I'm going to go see my old landlord.
What's up, Elvis?
And tell him I'm selling my RV and moving out. I've moved up from your front yard to an apartment.
Yeah, how about that? All right.
I'm sorry to take. You're not going to really lose any money though, because I might have another guy lined up to take this place.
You should have come and sold me that piece of crap camper.
This is a great piece of crap, man. I mean, this is probably the classiest camper in the joint right here.
I give you Walmart price on that. That's 28.
Awesome. You know what? I'm going to miss you, bud. This is.
I'm going to miss you.
You know, you're very entertaining. I got to come back and you just got to talk to me every once in a while. You know?
I can do that.
All right, good. You're not going anywhere, right? You're here. You're here for the duration. All right, take care. And here is Jim, right on cue. Bam, there's the new buyer. You made it.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is home?
This was home, yeah.
This has been? How long?
Was slash, yeah.
How long you been living in this?
I've been here for about 7 months.
That's a queen size bed, and the kitchen table actually folds down into a bed as well. I've walked that walk, and you know, here's a little something for you too, because I look at them and I see myself, 10 months ago. So I want to give them whatever help and advice I can. There goes my home. Hey, it's been a good home, man. It'll be a good house for you. So, I'm fresh into this place, literally, in the last week. What do you do when you move into a new place? You have a party. Put on that. No. Really, the start of this journey, I found myself in a dumpster, wrapped in bubble wrap, wondering if I was going to make it through the night. I've come from that moment in North Dakota to now, I got a place. I have an address. I feel like a real person again. I feel more complete, more whole. Now I come home to a warm place. My cat's happy. When I go to sleep at night and rest my head on that pillow, there's just sort of a sense of relief that, wow, now I feel like I'm a permanent citizen now.
Now toast to Gregg's new place here. Because it was a long time in the makings, but I'm here, and it's a happy new year. Skull, everybody.